Good morning, church, or good day. I hope that you're excited to hear God's message today. He speaks at all times. He is speaking to us in all circumstances and in every season of our lives. At this time, I will be sharing about reflecting God's faithfulness. That faithfulness matters. In Galatians 5, verse 22, it says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness." What God requires of each of us as Christians is to possess genuine faith. There are many examples recorded in the Bible of people who were able to see God's wondrous deeds and be blessed by Him because of their faith. Number one in my list, I would remember Abraham. Abraham had faith in God and was willing to sacrifice his only son Isaac to God. And ultimately, God blessed him, allowing his descendants to multiply and become great nations. Another one is Moses. He had faith in God and through his guidance was able to overcome the myriad obstructions and limitations of the Pharaoh, successfully leading the Israelites in their exodus from Egypt. As Christians, it is imperative that we understand the truth pertaining to what true faith is, so that no matter what hardships we encounter in our lives, unfortunate family events, the refinement of illness, the suffering of persecution and imprisonment because of our belief in God, we are able to rely on our faith and unwaveringly follow God, bearing resounding witnesses for Him. How is your faith at this moment of your life? In this entire pandemic time, is there a situation in your life trying to push this foundational truth to the side? Do you need to look beyond your anguish to the confidence of faith that God will sustain you? I would always remember whenever my child, my daughter, will ask me, "But mommy, you promised." How many times as parents have we heard those words? Our memory of our promises often isn't as acute as our kids' memories, and they can be deeply disappointed when we forget. All children crave promise keeping from the significant adults in their lives. They want to trust that we will do what we say. And I'm so glad and blessed that God doesn't forget His promises. He keeps His word. When He makes a promise, He will deliver. Faithfulness, as what being mentioned in the verse a while ago, it's the attribute, one of the attributes of the fruit of the Spirit. It's a biblical word that describes those who keep their promises. It does not mean full of faith, but rather worthy of faith. Faithfulness says, "I will keep my word. I will not fail you. I won't quit on you." Faithfulness is the glue that keeps our actions adhering to our promises. The faithfulness of God is foundational to our faith. If we can't trust what He says, then we have no reason to believe. If He doesn't keep His word, then our salvation is shaky and our hope is empty. But if God does fulfill His promises, then our faith is meaningful and our eternal destiny is secure. Don't you know that faithfulness is also foundational to a happy, God-honoring home as well? when we promise ice cream and then forgetting it, threatening punishment and not following through, or singing, I love you, Lord, more than each new day, I love you, Lord. We're singing that in church and forgetting Him through the week. All affect our children and can undermine trust. Children who have to deal with continual broken promises may find it difficult to trust the significant people in their lives, including God. As parents, how are we reflecting God's faithfulness to our children? They look at us. Our children look at us. They look up at us. Practice faithfulness needs to provide stability and also security and confidence for your children. We as parents will reflect God to them, and we as parents will instill in them the importance of being true to their word. Because the process is when your children develop faithful hearts, then they will stay in a close walk with God. They will also find more success in their schoolwork, their friendships, their marriage in the future, and their career. Remember, faithfulness is an attribute of the fruit of the Spirit, empowered by God. So, pray for it, model it, teach it, and celebrate it. Enjoy God's faithfulness, for He is faithful indeed.